Om Sahana Vavatu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Dayakaram Dayakaram Dantam Dharma Pravartakam Pranamami Dayanandam Madacharya Varam Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shriniyamadevah Bhadram Pashye Makshabhiryajatraah Sthirairangai Stuštuvagam Sastanubhih Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuh Indro Vruddhashravah Swasti Nah Pusha Vishwavedah Swasti Nastarksho Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brihaspati'r Dadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Last sentence in the Bhashya, 8th mantra. Andhenaiva achakshushkenaiva niyamanaha pradarsyamana margaha yatha loke andhaha akshirahitaha gartakantakaadau patanti tadvat. So the andha, andhyam here is not literal, it is figurative. Figurative means upalakshana. Upalakshana for what? People who are, as it's going to be told in the subsequent verses, blinded as though by their raga for karmaphala, by their desire for karmaphala. That's one kind of people. Here they have also unfortunately become what? Leaders. So therefore they are having a selective vision. Not that they cannot see, but what they see is only the first portion of the Veda. Namely what? So these people who become leaders are who? Purva Mimamsaka. There is a jab. Adi Shankara is taking a swipe at Purva Mimamsakas. These Purva Mimamsakas, what are they doing? They are touting only contextually one portion of the Veda as complete, as productive of moksha. Loka is moksha, loka is permanent. So this is the problem here. So these are andhas. That's why they are andhas. And another reason why the andha, what is that, the connection, the example of andhyam is given here is because it is contrary. They are going contrary to the Shastra. What does the Shastra say? The first portion is for preparation. The second, in order to understand the truth of oneself, which is what? The subject matter of the second portion. So there is a means and ends connection here. The end being moksha, the auxiliary means, the secondary means are what? karma, upasana, etc., which comprise the first portion of the Veda. But they are going contrary to the Shastra. Why? Because they are taking this and touting this as the only thing that is there. And instead of going along with the Shastra, they are Shastra pratikulaha. They are going against the Shastra, therefore they are andhaha. And they have become, unfortunately, in a leadership position also, not only supposedly guiding, but really speaking what? Misguiding everybody else. Why? Because when you go against the Shastra, you go from apaurusheya to paurusheya. Shruti is what? Not human made, apaurusheya, where there is no human interference. That's why we can say it is infallible. That's why we can have Shraddha towards it, because it is untouched by human mind and human hands. Human hands have not gone and messed it up. So therefore we can say, we can have Shraddha in what it says, because there is no author. Because there is no author as a human being. And who is the author? Bhagavan is the author. And so therefore we can have Shraddha. But here what have they done? They have taken the authorship, as it were, on to themselves. So then what does it become? Whatever they say becomes buddhi janita vishaya. That this only can give moksha. And then, so the buddhi has 6 defects. Any buddhi has 6 defects. What are they? First one is common to everybody, ajnanam. Then samshaya. Samshaya means what? Doubt. All kinds of doubts are there. So buddhi is full of doubt, and then buddhi is full of ajnanam, and then what else? Viparyaya. Viparyaya means what? Wrong knowledge. Any buddhi janita, anything that is that is crafted by the buddhi will have these kinds of defects: doubt, wrong knowledge, ajnanam, pramada, negligence. Negligence also means mistakes. Different mistakes will be there. How many are there? 4. Yeah. So then what else is there? Apatukaranatvam. Apatukaranatvam means the buddhi also is finite. Certain things it may not be able to see. Then finally, vipralambha. Vipralambha, vipralabdhi also it's called, means vipralambha means cheating, but here it's not cheating. I'm trying to frame it properly. It is a deceptive understanding. They themselves are deceived. It's not that they are trying to deceive others. It's a deceptive understanding based on what? Based on the desire for karma phala here in this context. So every buddhi is plagued with these defects, and for all these reasons that we have talked about up till now, therefore it is called andha, not seeing properly. So then, andhena eva. Who is this andha? Achakshushkena. Achakshuhu means what? Chakshuhu na vidyate yasya. As good as not having eyes. Achakshushkena. And then what? So achakshushkena tritiya, because by these people, by such people, achakshushkaihi, by such leaders, niyamanaha, being led. Who are these? How are they led? Pradarsyamana margaha. Pradarsyamana margaha means so pradarsyamanaha margaha. Yasmai. So for whom this path is shown. What is this path? Full of defects. Full of defects, full of incompleteness and out of context. And so where the Shastra has gone and it is no longer what? Apaurusheya. What has it become? Paurusheya. It has become, basically it has been intermixed, intermingled with human intentions, human agenda for karma, karma phala, heaven and all other goodies promised by karma. And so therefore not only are they happy doing that for themselves, they become leaders, and for other people what do? They become the people who show the path. So all those people also suffer because they are guided by the blind buddhi of the leaders instead of the shastra. That's why they suffer. And then what happens? So yatha loke, just as in the world, andhaha, these poor people who themselves don't know. Here andhaha means ignorant. So who are they? Akshirahitaha, like the akshirahitaha in the world. What do they do? Garta. Garta means pits. What is that? Dry wells, etc. Pits. Kantaka, thorny bushes, etc. Patanti, repeatedly patanti. They keep on getting misled and falling into pits and pits full of thorns, if you want to make it even more dramatic. So they keep falling there, they pick themselves up, and they are committed to the leader. The heart is given away. They don't see that the leader is exploiting them, mismanaging the shastra, and then telling them wrong things. And so therefore they repeatedly fall into these kinds of difficult situations and don't come out of it. So this is a Purva Mimamsaka Khandanam. Next one. Avidyayam bahudha vartamanaha vayam kritartha iti abhimanyanti balaha yat karmino na pravedayanti ragat तेनातुराः क्षीणलोकाश्च्यवन्ते. Furthermore, same thing is being even more developed, because the hetu of their misguiding is being talked about here. What is the cause? Why they are themselves misled and why they are misleading others? They are misleading others because of their own conviction. And what is this wrong conviction, etc. And the hetu of this wrong conviction is being talked about here in the 9th mantra. Same thing. Avidyayam bahudha. Bahudha means in many and varied ways. Let's count the ways in which they are steeped in avidya, vartamanaha, continuing to be in avidya, completely up to the head, immersed in avidya, wrong knowledge. Not only ignorance but wrong knowledge. Yesterday we saw why avidya by itself is not productive of samsara. Avidya along with wrong knowledge. Yesterday and day before we have seen it in detail. So wrong knowledge and the commitment to this wrong knowledge causes samsara, but they don't know that, and so they continue to be committed to the finite, thinking it is infinite. That is the wrong knowledge. Thinking it is infinite or thinking it is a sadhana for moksha, the direct sadhana for moksha, that it is going to give moksha directly. Thinking it is infinite, they repeatedly, means life after life, they keep this same commitment. They are not unable to outgrow the first portion of the Veda. So bahudha also means with many and varied wrong notions. And who are these people? Avidyayam vartamanaha balaha. Balaha. This is a common way of talking about who? Immature people. Nasamparayah pratibhati balam pramadyantam vittamohena moodham. Same thing. Na anyad asti iti mani. There also, they don't think there is anything else other than what they are committed to. Punah punaha, Lord Yama says, Vasham apadyate me. They keep repeatedly delivering themselves into my net. They keep coming. I tell them, please, again you have come back. Please go. I try to release them, but they keep coming back because they are Parma children. Parma children means English samasa, permanently children. Okay. They are Parma child, Parma children, permanently children. Means they refuse to grow up. They are addicted to the toys. What are the toys? Various yajnas are the toys. Because when you play with the toys, you get a certain high. So sometimes you can share it and do and play with other children also. You get a kind of a thrill with the toys. More sophisticated the toys, the more thrilling it is. So first to simple toys, teddy bear, Agnihotra, okay, and then later on video games, Ashwamedha, Jyotishtoma, all these things. And the more sophisticated the toy, the more complex it is and the more addictive it becomes, because the more costly it is, costly in the terms of performance of these yagas. And so avidyayam bahudha vartamanaha, in many and varied ways, repeatedly, life after life, committed to what? Ignorance and error, remaining steeped in it. And then who are they? These are people who are balaha, children, immature, emotionally immature, spiritually immature, physically matured, of course, because the Shad Vikaras, they don't need your permission. The 6 Vikaras from birth to death takes place. So before you know it, one is 92 years old, but mental age 2. Yes, that is the thing. So this is the problem. So the aging happens because it is Bhagavad Srishti. So one becomes an adult, how? Physically. Mentally still a child. And because this karma phala connection has not been cut for them. They have not understood that the karma phala cannot be infinite. They have not understood. So what do they think? Vayam kritaha purusharthaha yaihi. By whom all the purusharthas have been attained. Iti abhimanyante. This is how they think. Manyanti must be converted to manyante, chandasam. So, iti abhimanyante. This is how they think. Think means consider. What do they consider? East or west? We are the best. We know all the answers. Come to us for moksha. Here, moksha, 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 moksha for sale, moksha for sale, moksha for sale. Because everything is to be reached for them. Moksha is also something to be reached. They have that orientation of everything is gamyam. Everything has to be gone and reached. It is away from me. So because of this andhyam, because of this avidya, this error, they think moksha is also something to be achieved which is away from me. And we have already achieved it, because this is the gamut of all the Vedic rituals. I know how to do this. I know from A to A, Ashwamedha, Agnihotra to Ashwamedha. I know all the yajnas. Therefore, I am able to do this. I have gained all the purusharthas. Vayam kritarthaha iti abhimanyante. They think of themselves as kritarthaha. Who are they? Balaha. Yat means yasmat. Because. Why? Because these karminaha, these karmins means the people who are in karma. Karm in. Okay. This is how in English to know. So these people who are steeped in karma, they have nothing other than karma. So these karminas, these karminaha, what happens? Na pravedayanti. 10th conjugation with na pravedayanti. They do not have the understanding. Na pravedayanti. And then why na pravedayanti? What is the next word? Ragat. Ranj. Ragat. So Ragat means because of karma phala raga. Because of raga here is not just like. Yeah, like is okay. I like many things, but they are not there for me. No problem, we can say. But here, raga means addiction to karma phala. Karma phala is it's like alcohol. That's why I keep saying one is a karma phala-holic. Yes, it's an addiction. You cannot drop that addiction. It's a karma phala addiction. Addiction to karma phala. And how do you get karma phala? By doing karma, by being committed to karma repeatedly. And so this karma phala connection is actually not there. The Bhagavad Gita tells us this. How? Where does it tell us this? Karmani eva adhikarahate ma phaleshu kadachana. This they don't understand. They think they are kartas. They are addicted to kartrutva buddhi. They are the doers. And if I do, I will get the results. But they don't understand that I am not the producer of the result. They have no clue because they are overwhelmed, Adi Shankara is going to say. Karma phala raga nimitta abhibhutaha. Abhibhuta means overwhelmed, overpowered. Overpowered by this addiction, ragat, then tena nimittena, what happens? Because tena means tasmat, because yat means yasmat, so here yat tat connection, tena means tasmat. Because of that, what happens to them? Aturaha. Aturaha means suffering, tortured. These poor aturaha, tortured people. What happens to them? Chyavante, chew, to fall. And who are these aturaha? One more qualification. Kshina lokaha. Kshina punyaha. Loka means punya here. So the punya has been kshi, to disappear, to decay. So for whom the punyas have been exhausted, they are called kshina lokaha. And what happens to them? Chyavante, they drop. They drop to what? The next one, next mantra is going to tell, imam lokam heenataram va vishanti. They drop to another human body or a even more inferior body. So in other words, they keep dropping from their karma phala, from enjoying the karma phala. Why do they keep dropping? Because karma being finite, karma phala is also finite. This is how they keep dropping. They are not able to sustain this thing at all. So because what they think is moksha is equal to heaven. Moksha and heaven are synonymous to them. And then they will say that until you get heaven, you will not get moksha. And in heaven, I will be nice, far away from this samsara, everything is wonderful, and then I am enjoying it. Before they know, the trap door opens as soon as the last punya is exhausted, and then kshine punye martyalokam vishanti tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam kinchit kalam. For little time, bhuktva, having enjoyed what? The vast expanses of heaven, having enjoyed kshine punye, meaning kshina lokaha, bhutva, becoming the one for whom the karma phala has been exhausted. In that form, what happens? Martyalokam heenataram va vishanti. They enter into various wombs. Yatha karma yatha shrutam yonimanye prapadyante sharirattvaya dehinaha. Sthanumanye anuyanti yatha karma yatha shrutam. Which chapter Bhagavad Gita? Kathopanishad. Yeah. So, in the Kathopanishad, this whole trajectory of karma is given. Because they are eager to enter new wombs. Why? Because not only with of course the technical answer is karma shesha is there. That is the technical answer, but we have to go beyond it and see why the karma shesha is there. What is the cause? Because the ragas have not been inquired into. They haven't become virajasaha. They have not become free of raga. They have not become free of ragadvesha, and the desires are so many, and the desires clamor to get into wombs quickly. Even the Buddhist people believe this. They have this reincarnation, and then especially in Tibetan Buddhism, they take this very, very seriously, the whole question of reincarnation. And they say that all the disembodied beings, newly dead beings, are hanging around marriage halls. They are asking the newlywed couple, are you going to be my daddy? Are you going to be my mummy? Can I go home with you? And then other jivas are also there to compete. They push. No, I saw this mommy first. I saw this daddy first. No, not you. And sometimes they come into a compromise. Okay, both of us, let's be twins. And then let's go together to these parents. So like this, they fight for the new wombs, because in this disembodied state, they cannot fulfill any karma. They cannot, in the lokas, yes, they are enjoying their fulfilling the karma phala, but in the state of not, in the preta sharira, in the state of not having any body, they cannot handle it. So quickly they are searching for a new womb to get into, whatever is available. Not only whatever is available, whatever is available according to karma, yatha karma. And yatha shrutam means whatever upasana one has done. Yatha karma, yatha shrutam. So whatever the karma shesha is there, according to that the womb is granted, and also according to the most prevalent desire. The strongest desire that is most prevalent is the one that fructifies. So therefore, if you are studying Vedanta all your life, next janma what? Human being, yes. Not a dog that sits in front of the Vedanta teacher's video because the master is also sitting. No. In Anekatti, we had one dog and one cat. Many dogs and cats are there. And so we had this particular dog and cat. They were always at loggerheads with each other. As soon as the cat saw the dog, it would say. And as soon as the dog, even before seeing the cat, some gargling sound it would make and start barking. So then we would just ignore them because they were there outside in the garden, in the dining hall, in this thing. But then when Pujya Swamiji would come and sit, they would come. Yeah. They would come and sit under the Vyasapitha. This happened 3-4 times. And then Sahana Vavatu, quiet. They were very quiet, sitting side by side. Not a single sound would come. Then Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Ityadi. One day it happened, we were all amused. Swamiji never said anything. We also didn't say anything. Then again it happened. Again, as soon as Swamiji came and sat, they would come. Before the Anekatti lecture hall had many entrances and exits. So this side, that side, they would come through different doors, and this one would come through the side door, that one would come through the back door, and then they would both go underneath. And then the brahmacharis would try to drag them and take them out. And Swamiji would say, let them remain. Why? They were ubhaya bhrashtas, they were brahmacharis in the last life. And then what did they do? They didn't get this knowledge because they were more fond of fighting with each other rather than gaining this knowledge. They were more committed to what? The karma of fighting with one another. That's why they are in these bodies. Let them remain, let them get something out of this, he would say. And so like this, you see, all the animals that come to ashrams are also not accidental. Definitely there is some connection there. They hang around. in the hope like there is some familiarity, some vasana is there. They hang around, but what is the use? Because the desire was there, but it was not enough to give a human body. The desire was very much there, but it was not enough. Because they were more interested in being dogs and cats, so they were, therefore, tathastu, Brahmaji said, and next life what? Dog and cat. And so like this, so therefore, the commitment to avidya and erroneous ways of understanding this is going to have a great effect on one's karmic trajectory. And on top of that, there is an inability to change also. Why is there an inability to change? What do they say? Vayam kritarthaha. We have accomplished all the purusharthas, including what? Moksha. We are fulfilled people. You are unfulfilled. That's why you keep going from ashram to ashram. We are fulfilled. See? Remaining in grihastha, remaining in the householder life, we are fulfilled. Why you have this problem? Keep doing this karma, you will be okay. But this is as we saw, an emotionally immature position. And then because of their intense desire for karma phala, like security, pleasure, etc., arthakama based karma phala we have to specify, because kritarthaha means what? The two purusharthas have been accomplished really, but they think all four has been accomplished. So what have they accomplished, so to speak? The arthakama, commitment, and whatever they could do in this life to gain arthakama, the middle purusharthas they have done. Dharma is of course common to everybody, so they have accomplished dharma also, they think, because they are dharmic in nature. But then where is the problem? The problem is they think this is moksha. Security is not moksha, because it is a false purushartha based on the premise that I am insecure. Whereas the self is not insecure at all. It is the most secure thing on this earth or anywhere else. But that they don't know. So on this secure self, the insecurity is superimposed, as it were, and believed in, and then you try to create a problem where there is no problem, and then you try to solve the problem after you have created it. This is a problem. This is the problem. So first you say, I am insecure, and that itself is a wrong premise. Then you try to make yourself secure when you are already secure. It's like Dravida pranayama. You can do pranayama straightforward like this, but Dravida pranayama means you have to bring like this. Many people, you have to have arms as long as Lord Rama. Yeah, Lord Rama had arms up till his knees. Then only you can do like this. What's the point when you can just do it straight away? You're doing it like this. So they go all round and then come to the wrongest conclusion possible. Therefore they are parma children, permanently balaha. And because of their desire and addiction to karma and karma phala, they completely lose it. They lose the chance of moksha, not only in this life, but in the next life and the next life also. Kincha avidyayam bahudha bahuprakaram vartamanaha. Vartamanaha is important. Keep on remaining continuously. Bahudha means bahuprakaram, in many and diverse ways. And it's just the same repetition from the previous mantra, almost the same. There it was what? Antare, and here the antare is replaced with bahudha. So steeped in ignorance there, and then here not only steeped in ignorance, but many forms of ignorance. What are the many forms of ignorance? You get moksha by this karma. You get moksha by giving some dhanam to somebody. You get moksha by doing this. All these various ways, notions. notions of how to lead the life and notions of how to make other people also lead the life. These people who mislead others, they continue in diverse ways. Vayameva kritarthaha kritaprayojanaha iti evam abhimanyanti abhimanam kurvanti balaha ajnaninaha. So these ajnanis, balaha means what? Not knowing the truth of themselves. Immature because they don't know the truth of themselves, and so therefore these ajnanis, these people given to avidya, given to ajnanam, committed to ajnanam, what do they say? They identify with this thinking, we alone have accomplished everything. So krita prayojanaha, so prayojana means all whatever is there to be accomplished, whatever purpose is there for this life, that prayojana, that purpose we have already accomplished. There is nothing more to do. So saying, they plan one more yajna. If there is nothing more to do, they should sit down quietly. No, they refuse to graduate the first portion of the Veda. Even though the teacher is saying, you are still in kindergarten, you have moustache and beard, and then why are you sitting with 5-year-olds? And they refuse to graduate. They refuse to go out from there. Because this is the only world they know, and and they are committed to this world. Pujya Swamiji used to talk about one person to whom he gave sannyasa. Sannyasa means what? Giving up all the karmas, all the duties. And this sannyasi, after 5 days of sannyasa, said, I am going away for 1 day. Why? Because I have to do shraddha karma, what is that called? Yearly, not atonement, what is that called? The pitru karma for the parents. So my parents died, and then for mother or father, I forget, I have to go and do the yearly funeral rites, meaning give tarpanam, etc. I have to propitiate the ancestors. And so no amount of convincing that he doesn't have to do that, he could not, even though sannyasi dress, but thinking is what? Back in this Purva Bhaga of the Veda. Refusal to graduate, even though has physically graduated by taking sannyasa, but still mentally feeling I have to do this, because the whole concept of doing is very addictive. Once you start doing something, you cannot let go. And if somebody makes you let go forcibly, you get angry at them. You are not thankful to them. You are not saying thank you for taking me out of this so that I can focus on something else. Until you leave that thing, what is the new thing doesn't come. Even in the Laukika world, even in the everyday world, when there is an addiction to doing, and when you are just used to keeping on doing, there is no more growth. Growth is possible only when you are able to leave that and see what else is it that I am supposed to do. And so here those people are not able to do that, so they continue to think we are krita prayojanaha. And then iti evam abhimanyante. What do they think? They think like this. Not only thinking, Adi Shankara gives one more, what is that meaning? Abhimanam kurvanti. Abhimana means identification. Identification with a sense of pride and doership. This kind of an identification they do with everything that they are committed to. Abhimanam kurvanti, totally identified as the doer. And what does the Shastra say your nature is? Non-doer. So from doer to non-doer, big quantum leap is there. First you have to be mumukshu, seeker of freedom from all this doing, and then from there you have to become what? Jignasu, the desirer of knowledge, because the karma cannot give what you already have. What is that? Freedom, moksha. So moksha is a cognitive pursuit because it is already there. What I am seeking, I already have. The seeker is the sought. The nature of the seeker is what I am seeking, and that separation is an as though separation. All this I have to understand. And here there is no desire to take off. There is no desire to take off on this gati, etc. And so they are permanently balaha. Yat yasmadevam karminaha na pravedayanti tattvam na jananti. Yeah. So why do they not know? They don't know the truth of themselves. What is the tattva, the sara of Veda? What is the Veda tatparya? The commitment of the entire Veda is what? Is not to make you keep doing karma. The entire Veda is for human emancipation from the notion that I am karta. And therefore, to this end, it is divided into two parts, because in the beginning the person is identified totally with doership. So, through this doership, through proper doing, through becoming a devotee, through dedicating everything to Ishvara, and then from there growing to see, growing in maturity, to see that this is a different cup of tea, that there is here no karma needed. To slowly grow into that maturity, first there is the commitment to doing. How? From a place of letting go. That they have not understood. Ishvararpana buddhi they have not understood. Karma yoga they have not understood. Ishavashyam idam sarvam they have not understood. That is why some of the Upanishads like Isha Upanishad are there in the first portion of the Veda itself, to give the person a little appetizer, a small appetizer to desire this more and more. Still then they have not understood this, because the commitment is already wrong and then continues to be wrong. This is the yasmat. Because of this, the karminaha na pravedayanti. Vedartha tattvam na jananti. They do not know the tatparya, the commitment of the Veda is for the emancipation of this person from thinking I am a samsari, that I am karta bhokta. Na jananti. Kasmad na jananti? Ragat, karma phala, raga, abhibhava nimittam. Tena karanena aturaha dukkhartaha santaha. Yeah. So why do they not know? Because of their intense desire. Raga here means addiction. Because of their addiction. Addiction to what? Karma phala nimitta. The raga is centered on the karma phala. So the nimitta means hetu. The ragat, that's why it's in fifth case. The raga becomes the hetu for this not knowing the truth of oneself, not only not knowing, not desiring to know also the truth of oneself, because karma phala ragena abhibhutaha. These people are totally overwhelmed, overpowered, hijacked is a better word. Hijacked, abducted by the raga for karma phala. They are hijacked by the desire for karma phala. It's like, you are driving the car, okay, but raga dveshas take you out. Stop the car, take you out. Before raga dveshas were passengers, but now what do? They come out, stop the car, because there are many of them. Even though you have put your foot on the pedal, the car is suddenly stopped. They are holding it, and then they hold you hostage. They take you out and then gag you, bind the hands and legs, throw you into the trunk of the car, and they start driving the car. What happens then? If they are driving the car, whole life is bekar. That's what happens. Bekar means useless. Whole life is useless. In this case, so this is how the raga has overpowered, means what? The raga has hijacked this person's viveka, hijacked the possibility of vairagya. Forget shamadama, mumukshutvam, nothing, even simple viveka that has been abducted and held hostage by this raga dvesha, this raga for karma phala, dvesha for insecurity, sense of fear, etc. All this, because of that, overpowered by this, what are they doing? Tena karanena, because of this reason, the single most reason, only one reason. What is that? Being overpowered, hijacked, held hostage by the intense raga for karma phala, the addiction to karma phala. Tena karanena, tena means tasmat. Tasmat aturaha, because that yat was there, tena, yat yasmat, tena means tasmat, we have to understand. Tasmat aturaha. Aturaha means what? Intensely afflicted. Aturaha. Dukkhartaha, artaha, helpless. There is a dainyam in them, deenata. So, this is how Pujya Swamiji composed that song. He Govinda, he Gopala, Uddharamam, Atideenam, Balahinam. This is the feeling of the jiva. He composed this after some people came to see him, and then he was unable to help them because they were committed to some whatever they were doing, and they were considering themselves victimized by karma. So this is that helpless jiva. So aturaha means coming under this fate of helplessness repeatedly, still they don't understand. That is the sad part. Still they are what? Avidyayam antare bahuvartamanaha, bahudha vartamanaha. Still, this is the problem. The problem is, once there is affliction, they should see that the same solutions are not working anymore. Maybe they worked at some point, but that problem continues. So applying the same solution repeatedly without any effect whatsoever is the definition of madness, insanity. Repeatedly applying the same solution to the problem that refuses to go away. When that solution is not helping me, I should look for other solutions. Here what are they doing? Just committed to the same so-called solution and touting it as the best one always. So, tena karanena dukkhartaha santaha, repeatedly afflicted by what? Sorrow, dukkhena artaha, by sorrow and difficulties. And then what happens? Who are these people? Kshina lokaha, kshina karma phalaha. Yeah, so for whom the karma phala has been exhausted. Loka here means karma phala. Kshina karma phalaha. Santaha, what happens to them? Svargalokat Chyavante. Yeah, they fall. They repeatedly fall. They keep on falling. Keep on falling. And then what happens to them? Rinse, repeat. Same thing. Come back in the same body or some other bodies, as the next mantra is going to show us, and then they keep being born, keep dying, making the same mistakes, and then not becoming mature as a result. Now the next mantra also continues with the critique. Here the critique is not for the karmas themselves, but for the people who think these karmas get me directly what? Moksha. So the people who are committed to this are being critiqued in the number 10 mantra. The karmas themselves, if they are intelligently used, as we know from the study of the Bhagavad Gita, they can become a nimitta for one's self-growth and inner maturity. But these people do not know how to use the karmas for their self-growth. The point of the karma is to grow out of kartritva buddhi and question whether desire fulfillment is the only intent of the Veda. Because all these karmas are for what? It's a treatise of desire fulfillment. All kinds of useless desires are kept there. And the spells for them, how to get rid of this, how to get this, how to have that, even specific diseases. There is a, what is that? That lack of pigmentation, one disease is there. How to overcome that? What mantras to chant, what yajnas to do. From a simple common cold to the worst form of diseases, leprosy is talked about. How to overcome leprosy, what are the karmas, what are the yajnas to do, every sickness, everything, and how to be rich, how to have no fights with family members. Is that even possible? So, how to always be at peace with family members. You chant and you do yajna of the last shloka of the last mandala of the Rig Veda, called Aikyamata Suktam, which is a prayer for Agni. And Agni is told that, look, oh Lord Fire, what? In all the devas seem to be getting along. Even though we hear that Swarga is very crowded, so many Adhisthana Devatas are there, so many Devas are there, and Swarga is quite crowded, but still everybody is living harmoniously. And you, my dear Agni, when I give you a portion to take it to Indra, you don't swaha it on the way, you give it to Indra, Varuna, you deliver. And then if Indra is not at home, it is left on his doorstep. Varuna doesn't come and steal Indra's share and eat the havis. Varuna's share he will eat. Indra's share is kept like that till Indra comes back and says, oh, okay, somebody did a yajna, cool, okay, swaha, he will take it. So like this, yatha bhagam tatha purve, how in the Swargaloka, etc., in Indraloka, all these other Devalokas, how they share together, how nicely they come together, how there is no fight at all. Like that, make my family be. Let us not fight over what? Property. Let us not fight over small intellectual property also, like this is my notion and my notion is true and you should subscribe to it, otherwise we don't get along. Let us not do that. There is one sukta also which is to maintain the Aikyamata Sukta Homa is to, that yajna is to maintain family wellness. How long does it last? A few months after the homa. Then again what? The same thing starts. The cat and mouse behavior within the family alone will start. Why? Because this is the riti of the world. This is the niyati. We have to understand, as long as the human mind is there, raga dveshas is there, and the people are not fighting. Raga dveshas are fighting. We have to understand that and grow out of that. And so these karmas can be very useful to grow out of that, but in the beginning the karmas entice the person. Come here, do this. Why? Because you already have kartritva buddhi. But after doing Aikyamata Homa and seeing that the family members after a few months are not getting along, that's why it is in the last mandala, the last shloka. Why? Because after this, go to Upanishad. Aitare Upanishad connected to Rig Veda, study that. Because when you see that all this effort is what? In vain, whatever I want I am not getting. Still the mother is fighting with the father, still the siblings are all fighting with each other and with the parents. So this kind of a conflict, if I want a conflict-free life, it must not be centered on the family. Where must it be centered? On me. Because I cannot desire something that is not familiar. An unknown thing I cannot desire. If conflicted life is my reality, then I should be okay with it. The more the conflict, the better it is. In fact, we can congratulate one another. Oh, in your family there is so much conflict. You have done lot of punya, we should say, but we don't say that. Universally, conflict, dukkha, difficulties, challenges are eschewed. We don't want that. That means what? Somewhere, somehow, I know that this is not my reality. I know that. And until I know, I keep performing the karma with a certain kind of a shraddha, and then the karma has fulfilled itself. All the yajna karmas have fulfilled themselves when I understand that their limitations. I have outgrown the first portion of the Veda. The first portion of the Veda is to be outgrown. And this, if you don't understand, one is stuck in the first portion of the Veda. And so here the mantra is to not critique the first portion of the Veda, because it has use. It has use in making us have vairagya from small and big desires, which are all finite, and making us have the proclivity, the predilection for self-enquiry. And so therefore this mantra will critique the people who are stuck in the first portion of the Veda, much like the other two mantras. Ishtapurtam manyamana varishtham nanyat shreyo vedayante pramudhaah na kasya prishthe te sukrute nu bhutva imam lokam hinataram va vishanti. Very interesting. There it was pravedayanti mudhaha, here it is vedayante pramudhaha. The pra has migrated. So we will see that. Pramudha means what? Prakarshena mudhaha, that is the subject of this mantra. Pramudhaha, prakarshena mudhaha. Who are they? Manyamanaha. They also are keeping on thinking, considering. What are they thinking? Ishtapurtam varishtham iti manyamanaha na anyat shreyah iti manyamanaha. So the first two lines are describing the pramudha, the karmi. The karmis who are what? The karminaha who are what? Completely deluded. Pramudhaha, totally deluded about what is the end of human life. And see, the end of human life cannot be afterlife. This is very logical. If the goal of human life is to be achieved in afterlife, then what for this life? I should just hop from afterlife to afterlife. What does this life become? Bus stop? Waiting for afterlife? Huh? This life is not a bus stop. But a lot of theologies, all these Dvaita based theologies and lot of organized religions also, the goal of human life is to be achieved where? In afterlife. Human life is a train station, an airport, a bus stop where you are just waiting for what? Afterlife. While you are waiting, you do some karmas to quicken the gain of the afterlife, because that is the karma phala. This is ridiculous. So this is the only tradition. Perhaps there are some other indigenous traditions that are no longer there that also talk about this, but unfortunately they are lost because of conversion and decimation. They are lost. But perhaps there were other indigenous traditions, and here this indigenous tradition is alive. Why? Because it was all carried in the head. How many heads can you decapitate? You can't kill everybody, because it was carried in every head individually. That's why it survived, and it also survived because it has a very well developed, well entrenched, sophisticated teaching tradition. That is why it has survived. And so there, what does it say here? The human end is to be achieved here and now. That is what is called Parama Purushartha. Parama Purushartha means the final end is to be achieved when? Not after death, in this life alone. And what is that final end? to be free of the notion that I am incomplete, that I am a desiring, wanting person, that I am insecure. All this has to be accomplished first by gaining inner maturity through going through the first portion of the Veda, and through desiring self-enquiry and a committed exposure to the end of the Vedas, Vedanta. This is how it has to be achieved. The people who don't know this are totally deluded. What are they called here? Pramudhaha. Na anyat shreyaha. Shreyaha means what? Moksha. Yes. So nothing better. Here Shreya means better. So we know Shreya means moksha, but here it means literally the tara pratyaya, yasun, and so the comparative pratyaya, and then what is that? Na anyat prashasya taraha. Na anyat Shreya, nothing better than this. Nothing at all there is that is better than this. Iti manyante. This is what they think. And then what happens to them? Nakasya prishthe. Naka is a very interesting word. Kam means sukham. Okay? Then you negate that. How do you negate kam? Akam. Akam. Akam means dukkham. Then you double negate. Then you say na aka akam nakaha. Nakaha means heaven, where there is no dukkha. Kam dukkham, akam, kam sukham, akam na sukham, dukkham, and then na akam. Na akam. Na dukkham means what? Sukham again. Double negative. And so therefore, sukham, which is the place of sukham, the place and the name are conflated here. So the place of sukham is called heaven. Prishthe means enjoying the upper portions. They go to the north of heaven. Nakasya prishthe, what happens? Sukrute. Sukrute anubhutva. Anubhuya. So having enjoyed what? The good karma, karma phala. Sukrita here is avashyam bhavi karma phala. Having enjoyed, what happens to them alas? Imam lokam. Imam lokam means this body. Loka here is body. This body means human body. Prakritam. This human body or hinataram. Adho yonis. Tiryagadi. So, or loka, you can also take it as place narakadi. So they gain all the other adho yonis or inferior places to go and stay. Who are these people? These people are again very deluded, only committed to the first portion of the Veda, and then here they are not just doing the karma, but they are also doing some helpful social service. What are they doing? We will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.